Friends and family, welcome back to New York. Welcome to the shadows of New York. I've been very excited for this game, as I am excited for most World of Darkness games. I know most people weren't super into coteries of New York, but I thought it was thoroughly fun, thought it had a lot of potential, and so I'm very excited to see what Shadows of New York can pull off. I have the text at medium. I might change it to big later because you know me and accessibility, very important. I think we're ready to go. So let's load up a new game. Also, like Coteries of New York, there's a visual novel, so there's gonna be a lot of like reading and me doing the voices, and not a lot of editing. So just sit back and relax. Welcome to my castle. Ooh, shit. Don't expect everyday logic to work here. It went out of the window sometime after midnight, maybe earlier. My kingdom is not of this world, you see. It lies far outside of concrete, tangible reality. I've tried to identify the way people reach it, and I'm convinced it has something to do with the moon. Some say the moon's aura can turn them insane. You've heard the phrases moonstruck and lunatic. The way I see it, moonlight gives them some subliminal permission to reveal their true selves. And so, whenever they let the silver radiance guide them to the gates of this place, they feel different. Once they pass the doorstep, they're ready to act out. A dance of horrors and marvels begins. It's 3:31 a.m. Welcome to Big Beat Burger. If you're here at this hour, you're not exactly readying up to be a productive member of society come tomorrow morning. More likely, you're praying that the sunrise never comes. Insatiable children of the night gather around, hoping to bask in the afterglow of tonight's victories, unwind after a frustrating series of failures, or simply fight to keep themselves together. I might have to change the text size to small if it's gotta keep scrolling like that. Hopefully it's still readable, and hopefully my voice is parsable enough. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here, greedily reveling in every interaction they have. They have no idea they are only here for my amusement. To them, I'm just a random girl sitting in the corner. But this is my domain. I've been coming here almost every night for years. I know where to sit, where to look, and where to eavesdrop for maximum amusement. I'm basically a voyeur, and unashamed to admit it. It gave me insight about the human condition I'd never otherwise have gathered, and, more importantly, a necessary skill set to make ends meet as a journalist. As I write on my crappy old laptop, patiently waiting for the legion of negative voices in my head to get too tired to offer useless feedback, I keep my senses peeled to pick up stories around me. Of course, a lot of regular events, such as food fights, are nothing to write home about, aside from my unfortunate tendency to become collateral damage in someone else's battles. Up to this day, I've had to wash my clothes because of Coke, Diet Coke, hot coffee, apple pie, and some sort of improvised honey mustard bomb. Every stain tells a different story. Sometimes this hobby is exhausting. Sometimes it's disturbing. Sometimes it's dangerous, although not as risky as back when I wasn't carrying pepper spray. Still, the sights I've taken in over the years have absolutely made it worth it. I've got so many stories, I don't know where to begin. Theatrical breakups, impromptu morning parties, unexpected friendships forged in the fires of senseless battle, a lady in a gorgeous Givenchy dress ordering a box of takeout chicken nuggets, paying in cash with her hands completely covered in blood. She was asked if she wants a napkin. She said no. Two thirsty macho dudes shamelessly going for it in the corner, hushed moaning filling the lobby, while everyone around valiantly fights to act as usual and maintain an illusion of normalcy. This is fun. I like this so far. A straight-up kung fu fight between a diminutive cashier and some drugged bodybuilder going through a psychotic episode, trying to break all the windows. The big guy left the joint fully convinced he'd KO'd himself, while the service worker was just standing next to him. Seemed proud of his victory, too. A middle-aged hag getting a heart attack after screaming her lungs out to not let Muslims near her food, just because she saw a white girl wearing a hairnet behind the counter. A masked couple robbing the restaurant of 30 hamburgers, forcing the employees to cook at gunpoint. Police later said those were art students reenacting some hipster book they read. This is life. This is humanity at its worst and best. I don't know, I really haven't heard much of the best. Other than those hamburger robbers. Those are relationship goals. This is the noise that serves as the foundation for my creativity. This is the soma that keeps me going. This is... There she is! Goth wife, goth wife, goth wife, goth wife, goth wife. I love Julia. Ah! As pathetic as it may sound, these days, this is the only place where I feel alive. Sometimes I think of myself as a leech, feeding on these people's stories, emotions, and personalities, just because I'm not satisfied with mine. At times, I think of my psyche as some kind of shitty postmodern construct that is fundamentally incapable of honesty, but only yearns for something felt and truthful. Does this even make any sense? I look at the screen of my laptop. 3:47 a.m. God, that whole monologue took you 16 minutes? Damn. Maybe you do need to head back home. At this point, I'm almost somnambulic. Somnambulic? I don't know what that means. But nothing interesting has happened yet. Feels like all the customers are watching each other tonight, hoping for the others to provide a fun diversion. Book, I know you have descriptions of, like, kindred and what the different disciplines are. What the fuck does somnambulic mean? Let me ask Google, because I'm not going to rest until I know what somnambulic means. What does somnambulic mean? It gave me Okay, I'm gonna guess it means asleep, because Google doesn't know how to read voice. This is my turf, you parasitic douchebags. Next time, go find your own. I think it's time to call it a night. The coffee I always order so that they don't kick me out is undrinkable. Ugh. I've EV'd the rough draft I've been working on for the last 6 hours. God damn, this is pure trash. I hold the backspace button until the Google Documents page is nothing but a calm white slate, and let out a sound of deep relief. God, I feel this. Now the people watching think they're deleting entire Google Docs out of frustration. There's no pleasure more intoxicating for a frustrated writer than ragging on someone even worse than them. And what target is easier than the dumb bitch you used to be 10 minutes ago? Okay. I was a little uncertain about this character right now, but I love her. I checked the time again. I need to go. I have an important meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m., and I have a hunch it's not going to end well. And it's not because I'm an irresponsible dumbass who's going to need a few cups of coffee to simply function on a basic level despite, 4 hours of sleep. It's not enough! You need 8! It's because I always have a hunch things are not going to go the way they're supposed to. Click, clack, click, click, clack, click, clack, click, click, clack. Sorry. A loud clatter of keyboards assaults me from all sides. Makes the splitting headache unbearable. Used to be, I dreamed of nothing else but being part of the New York Lodestar editorial team. It was the first magazine I ever started reading regularly. The first magazine I ever bought for myself. Now, simply hearing the word Lodestar is enough to ruin my mood. Never mind seeing all these old farts phoning in more reactionary opinion columns and Wikipedia-level analyses of current events. Click, clack, click, click, clack. They used to destroy and rebuild my entire worldview every month. They shaped my thinking about politics, art, journalism. They even pointed me towards my favorite cigarette brand, for God's sakes. And then some talented people started leaving for greener pastures. Some got too wrapped up in their own neuroses. Some became complacent. All of them committed the sin of allowing themselves to grow older. Fresh blood was deemed unnecessary, even though young freelancers kept being bled dry. These days, whenever someone from outside Lodestar talks about Lodestar, it's because a few idealistic contributors willing to accept meager pay while putting in serious work. Dumbasses. Damn! Other than that, the magazine specializes in publishing pale echoes of provocative ideas I heard somewhere else a few years prior, wrapped in an aesthetic that hasn't been cutting edge for a decade. No wonder the readership is in freefall. But even though the ship is sinking, the old guard won't let it go down without a fight. As in, if anyone from the outside attempts to board the vessel in hopes of fixing its course or its holes, they'll be swiftly taken care of. I should know. Been there, done that. As it stands, the only full-time staff member who doesn't make me regularly attempt to cringe my face off with his writing, Brian! Is Lodestar's editor-in-chief, Brian Eng, the man sitting in front of me right now. Is that how you pronounce it? I've only seen that name from, Annie Eng or whatever by They Might Be Giants. Of course, he only has time for editorials these days. A drop in the sea of needs. Managerial duties hit him hard. It's the second time he lets out a theatrical cough like this. He said his piece. Now it's time for me to react. And I'm coming up a blank. What do you want me to say, Brian? I'm pissed off. I can tell you've already made up your mind, but you still want me to go through the motions just to make me feel listened to. Whatever. Let's do this. This guy's guilty of major fraud. This guy's a sexual harasser. Or you're protecting a complete piece of shit here. Let's just put it like it is. No pussyfooting around it. I feel stupid that I even have to say this out loud, but you're essentially covering up for a sexual harasser, Brian. No, I'm not. No, just face it. Let's say the Harvey Weinstein story appeared on your desk instead of reaching the New York Times. Don't you compare me to the Times. You know that's a low blow. You're asking for it, and you're not exactly in a position to be talking about low blows here. You know that's not the core of the issue. You're avoiding the core of the issue. No, I believe I've pinpointed it in a precise way. If it were up to me, I'd greenlight the article here and now, and we wouldn't be having this conversation. But you're killing the article, just because some of its shithead told you he doesn't like it. Get real. This is not about some millionaire jerk calling me to make an offer I can't refuse. What is this about, then? Because it looks awfully like it's about my bosses telling me this outlet can afford legal action we've already been threatened with. So, millionaire interference. Oh, for crying out loud, Julia, don't make me treat you like a child. You know how this works. I publish your story. It's Steele versus Gawker all over again. A lawsuit here, a lawsuit there, until we're bled dry. I have a mortgage. I have 3 mouths waiting to be fed at home. I have an amazing team that doesn't deserve to be torn apart over some... Don't you think it's telling you mentioned your mortgage first? Damn. Silence. Just asking questions. I know better than to get into these empty semantic arguments with you, Miss Sowinski. You're good at them. The problem is you're still not good enough. Meaning? You're too... Oh, I love the soundtrack. The soundtrack was one of the best parts of the first game. The soundtrack slaps. You're too in love with weaving a good story and establishing a seductive narrative to let facts get in the way. You've got enough boring suits with no principles on board these days. They always give you facts because that's all they can do. I'm using facts as a way to approach some kind of truth. Except facts can blindside you. And Double Spiral has enough facts to water down your story to the point where it makes no sense to publish it. Their HR and PR are working overtime to deliver a convincing counter-narrative, and they're doing a good job of it. Won't mitigate the damage completely, but will put every little thing into question. Jesse Montgomery is a racist, a fraud, a sexual predator, and a downright satanic fuckhead. Julia, let me say it again. Jesse Montgomery is a racist, a fraud, a sexual predator, and a downright satanic fuckhead. Do you personally believe it or not? This is not? You've listened to the tapes. You've read the transcripts. You've seen the documents. You've got the files. I'm asking for your personal opinion. Do you believe it or not? Click, clack, click, clack, click. Of course I do, but that's besides the point. It's not. Look, how about I just say it out loud and save us both some time? We're not having this conversation because there's an actual conversation to be had. You set up this meeting knowing very damn well there is only one way it's going to end. You've got a mortgage and 3 mouths to feed. You prioritize the well-being of your direct surroundings over some nebulous concept of greater good. I get it, I really do. Yet for some reason, it seems like you're only prolonging this conversation and rationalizing your decisions so that I forgive you, officially exonerate you. I'm not the bad guy here, Julia. Hell yeah, you are, dude. I think you are, Brian. Julia. But I know you're generally a decent guy, so you must have prepared something you could say to turn this ship around. I'm just waiting for you to say it. You've made your deal with the devil, but you're not the type to sell your soul, so just tell me. How can you make this up to reset your karma, huh? What have you got? He mutters something under his breath, ending with a self-pitying chuckle. Bad guy, decent guy, victim of circumstance. I don't know if you really care about that distinction. But, to be honest, as Lodestar's editor-in-chief, all I've got for you is something that'll make you think I'm the biggest scumbag in the universe. Oh, come on, don't turn this into a pity party. No, I'm absolutely a scumbag. And why is that? Because I'm firing you. Yep, saw this coming. My thoughts are scrambled. For a brief moment, the state of my bank account displays before my eyes with startling clarity. A howling void opens in my chest and starts traveling towards my stomach. No, don't panic yet, you idiot. Get more information, now. There must be a catch. What about my work? I want to know where the research I've done is going. Let me get this straight. Ever since we've met, I've been working on stories and pieces no one else in your office would touch with a 10-foot pole. Constantly interviewing total nobodies. Always busy traveling to the middle of nowhere or regretting my last trip. Repeatedly ordered to clean up someone else's mess. Julia, all your long-winded spiels about the disposable work is the most important work. And suddenly you only remember the disposable part. My feelings about the quality of your work remain the same as ever. It was vital. It kept the magazine going. I will always appreciate it. Then why would you threaten to fire me? I would never threaten you. It's a done deal. They've made their decision perfectly clear. They? What they? Who is they? He glances left and right, and then points upwards for a short moment. When he speaks again, it's in a hushed voice. You know, the big kahunas. Can't really question them, and they wanted your head on a silver plate. He's not looking me in the eye. You're not joking. I would never joke about stuff like this. It's real. Fucking hell, it's real. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it all to hell! All these years, all this grind, all my plans, and for what fucking asshole? You know what? I deserve better, and I always deserve better, and it always ends with me going down the drain, back to the sewers. Fuck! Now, take a few deep breaths. Don't lose the plot now. Keep yourself together, you idiot. The moment you show weakness, they go for your throat. get back in control. You can't do this. I wish I didn't have to, but it's a lost cause. No. I mean, it's impossible. Julia, you can't fire someone who's never been hired in the first place. It takes him a few seconds to put on his "oh, I get it" face, let out a troubled gas, and start massaging his temples. Troubled gas, but not a troubled gas. He farts when he's stressed. Don't shame him. Lodestar has been my biggest source of income for the past few years, that much is true. But technically, nobody has ever hired me here. It was all freelance jobs. A full-time position only ever served as a kinda dangling carrot. Promise of a decent pay grade, career perspectives, maybe even some kind of insurance to save my failing health. And the recognition I would get for being a part of the Lodestar team, a position that everyone around me seems to respect, aside from me. Then why did I want it so much? There will be time to mourn what could have been. For now, I need to act like I don't care. You know what I mean. If I let you work, even under a fake name, it would be a guillotine for me. This is ridiculous. You know I'm gonna start shopping the story around the second I leave this room, don't you? Of course I know. I told him. Any response? Let us worry about that. Oh, these motherfuckers are gonna send the mafia after me. Well, that doesn't sound ominous at all. I'm glad you agreed, Julia. Click, clack, click, clack, click. I do wonder if I could get accustomed to one of those loud mechanical keyboards some people here would love to use. Yeah, you hear that, Timothy? I'm talking about you! Fucking bitch. Sounds like you're using hammers to type. Whenever I did my work in here, I was still expected to bring my own crappy laptop and sit closer to the lobby. Always on the outside, no matter how hard I tried to break in. A vibration in my back pocket. Shit, I thought I left that in my nightstand. Feels like a bad omen. I decide to ignore it for now. I've been working on this fucking story for, I don't know, 16 months on and off? I know. You kept cheering me on. I know. We've even agreed on the pay I receive. I know. I'm 2 months behind on my rent. Wait, no, 2.5. I catch him off guard. He's momentarily taken back, and then he gives me an empathetic stare. Don't you look at me this way. You don't have the right. I didn't know. Well, now you do. Look, if there's anything I could do to help. If you can't tell your big kahunas to fuck off. Funk off. She just randomly censors herself. I don't think there's a single thing. So you tell them to go to heck. I'm frickin' out of here. Julia. I pull out a smoke and light it up. Gotta get back in control. Please don't do that. There's a smoke detector here. Oh, what are they gonna do? Escort me out of the fucking building? Bitch! No worries. Nick turned it off a few weeks ago. Probably the most creative thing he's done in the past 5 years. Good old Nick. The perfect 21st century cinema reviewer. Never has an original thought of his own, just relies on the purely algorithmic taste to stay likable. The best thing is, it works. Funny, I used to dream about his job. It was Brian who killed this dream, making me realize Nick won't be unseated anytime soon, and offered to teach me the ways of investigative journalism instead. It wasn't the career I ever wanted to pursue, but to my dismay, I turned out to be surprisingly good at it, until this Montgomery thing happened. Serves me right. Lesson learned. Should have pursued my dreams instead. You know, always look on the bright side of things, Julia. That's what I like about you. Stop it. Nicholas is a good friend, a respected critic, a member of my team, and put out that smoke. People tell me I let you step all over me. Why do we even let you act this way? Cause you're a bitch. Because you once told me honesty is most important in a mentor-student relationship, and that it works both ways. And because I thought we were friends. He bites his lip and stares sideways to avoid my eyes. This is why you don't become friends with managers. Managers don't care about you. At the end of the day, bosses aren't friends. See? Hell yeah! Even Brian agrees that he's a managerial bootlicker. Must have been a terrible mentor if I didn't even teach you that. I'm not gonna say anything. I don't know what to say to that. He's right. The best I can do for now is just stay silent. I don't feel too stable right now. Like it could explode any second. Julia? I might have failed as a guide, but I'll do what I can not to leave you stranded, okay? There are options. None of them are a remedy for all your troubles, but... wait a second. Another vibration in my pocket. Another foreboding feeling. This time, I reluctantly take the smartphone out of my pocket. If it has to rain, why not let it pour? I'm sorry for the pause. I took out my phone to use it as a prop. Then I realized I'm not on camera. A new email. It's a lengthy one. And the sender? Speak of the devil. Is it this Montgomery fucker? No. No, this can't be. Christ. I just got an email from Mother Lopez. She claims she's just been laid off from Double Spiral. Same as Mike Antonoff and Jared Rivera. What? What happened? I'll spare you all her insults, okay? Key thing is, it seems their HR knows all the confidential information about my journalistic investigation and used it to shut everyone's mouth. Hell, apparently Montgomery walked up to Lopez as she was emptying her desk, told her to thank me for being a, quote, dumb and careless cunt. Brian goes pale. I think he has a very good reason to. Well, there goes my monetization. Should I censor that? I'm gonna censor that. Only for my monetization, though. You fucking scumbag. You outed my sources. What? Of course not. What are you even saying? Oh, don't you dare play coy. Must have been either you or me. No one else. And you know the way I work. My investigation was basically untraceable, both on and offline. Carefully picked meeting spots, encryption upon encryption, every direct quote rewritten 5 times just in case. All sorts of red herrings scattered around. I know my shit. You know I do. And this timing? Did you just pass a flash drive to your beloved big kahunas during a meeting as a sign of goodwill? Look, I get you're upset, but why don't we just talk this through calmly? Yeah. I love how all of these ended telling him fuck you. I love that. I love Julia. Fury takes the wheel, and I'm just here along for the ride. I can't do anything about it. In a deranged way, realizing you're just a passenger in your own body feels liberating. Let's just see it all unfold. Yes! Calmly? Fuck you, Brian. Julia! I've been paranoid for months and months, acting like everyone I didn't know was an assassin or a corporate spy. I know I haven't messed up. Not in a way that would implicate all of them. You goddamn, you thought you could get away with this? I haven't done anything improper. Don't push the blame onto me. So what? You're claiming it's my fault? 'Cause you're never the guilty one. It's always the bosses, the economy, the obligations you have, and now me? You're being silly. Quit with this martyr bullshit. Calm down or I'll have to... You immoral shithead! You motherfucking... Calm down for God's sake. And so it goes. I yelled out a lot of words I wanted to say for a long time, but held it back. I fling a lot of insults I've been worshipping for years, hoping I'd never use them. I break a few things. At times, for a split second, I see pity in somebody's eyes. It's gonna haunt me for a long time, but in the heat of the moment, I don't care. These people, this company, has nothing left to offer me, so at least let me take this catharsis. In the end, a security guard has to escort me out of the building. And that's the end of my journalistic career. I just feel like my world has crumbled into nothing. Who are you talking to? I mean, you have every right to. Like, Jesus, if I were you, I would have already broken down into a sobbing mess. I'm gonna assume she's on the phone. I'd love to, but I'm on a subway. Far too proud to cry in public even now. And? It's stupid, but I feel like someone out there keeps destroying everything I hold dear just to see my reaction. Like it was a prank show and someone was waiting to record me crying. So, out of sheer spite, I'm doing my best not to cry. Fuck you, whoever and wherever you are. Out of sheer spite, I'm doing my best not to cry? I need that on a t-shirt right now. Holy shit. That's the most Julius Nowinski thing I've heard. Spite is the greatest motivator, huh? I need to give characters more distinctive voices. Not feeling particularly motivated to do anything right now, to be honest. I just want to stay in my bed until my shithead landlord calls the cops to evict me. Not surprised. Shit, I know that whenever life decides to fuck you over, it's always one thing after another, but this is too much. How much is too much? Let's recap this last week of June 2019. It's just 2019 because we don't want to take the effort to draw masks on everyone. Which, hey, fair enough. I've been kicked out of my job. Well, not that I'd ever been hired, so let's just say my mentor broke every vague promise he ever made to me. A big thing I'd been working on for a year and a half, down the toilet. It's all useless. My boss didn't protect my sources properly, and now they keep trying to reach me through every possible channel to threaten me or yell at me, and they have every right to react like that. Well, I'm sure you could explain it. I don't know how much better that would make it, but all of my side gigs are shut down. Nobody's replying to my emails. Someone's been dragging my name through the mud behind the scenes, and it worked. I still have no idea who's sending these shitty messages around. I've been asking, but listen, don't worry about it. I'm not gonna stand idly by and watch you get canceled by some mean-spirited, delusional... I said, don't worry about it. Oh, God. Sorry. This is a very serious, dramatic scene, but... Goth girls in suits? Hi. Welcome to everyone who just came here from, I don't know, off-channel. I'm big gay. I'm also trans, which probably couldn't tell because of my voice. Did that... Okay. Sorry, just showed up that my friend is also playing the game. So... I'm so paranoid and used to the Steam notifications popping up on screen. Anyway, I'm big, gay, and love girls and trans rights. Girls in suits? Lovely. I have 3 unread messages from my landlord. The message previews were stressful enough. A call came from Chicago. Apparently, Dad has bladder cancer. Mom is in hysterics. She'd go crazy if she ever heard about my situation, so I have to pretend everything is okay whenever she calls. And she calls every day. She just won't hang up before she offloads all her burdens on me. And I can't blame her because we all had to learn to cope with Dad's psychopathic tendencies somehow. It sounds like a time skip because there's a lot to have happened just in a walk from the office to the subway. I was robbed. All my documents and what little money I had gone. Don't even know when or where it happened. And it's driving me crazy because I'm always extremely wary of pickpockets. The list goes on. I don't want to sound paranoid, but it really does feel like a concerted attack. Maybe it's just because I know this is like an urban fantasy conspiracy game. I don't think that's paranoid at this point. Like, I know, maybe if you think like the cancer thing is part of it, but I don't know. Shit just sucks right now, and it's fine. It's not fine. I lost the plot. Basically, I don't think you're being paranoid, Julia. Paranoid is good. Anyway, I know you always hand-wave this topic away, but just remember that if anything happens, my place is your place. You don't have to go through it alone. I do. I've been a trouble magnet, and as self-centered as I may be, I don't want it to affect you. I know. Listen, I have another call. Alright, just call me if anything happens. No matter how dumb it seems, okay? And swing by whenever you can. I will. Thank you. See ya. I put my phone away, exhale and blankly stare in front of me. I need some fucking water. Oh boy! Every time I do one of these games where it's just me talking for hours on end, I've actually started drinking water now, which is nice. Drink water, kids! Christ. Trans rights and drink water and respect girls in suits. Respect women juice. I glance at my reflection in the window. Just look at this idiot. Also want that on a t-shirt. Whenever the situation requires me to dress formally, I still feel a bit like a child cosplaying as an adult. Should have just followed the dress for the job you won advice and continue dressing up like a trust fund kid who keeps partying on Brooklyn rooftops for years without a care in the world. It's only after a while that I realize the car's empty. Unnaturally so. I start feeling uneasy, but someone enters my peripheral vision. Whammon. She was on the Steam page. Don't know who the fuck she is, though. And that's the last thing I consciously register. The world dissolves. When I come to, I'm out of the subway, standing in a back alley I don't recognize. It's pretty dark. My eyes start adjusting, and I try to figure out what happened. There's a gun in my hand, a faint silhouette at my feet. It's not moving. Somebody stands in front of me, covered in shadows. I can't fully make out her face, but she's staring at me with visible intent. She speaks. Her voice is raspy and androgynous, her tone hateful and mocking. Aren't you a nasty one? Call me that again. What's going on? Who are you? Don't play coy. My mind goes blank. I look at the ground. There's a body riddled with bullet holes, and I recognize who it is. Was. The corpse belongs to Mike Antonov, one of the double spiral whistleblowers. My source. He was threatening to get back at me a few hours ago. Before I could feel even the tiniest bit of compassion, I face a terrible realization. They'll think I'm guilty. Oh my god, am I guilty? How is this real? You've done something to me, haven't you? Back at the subway. That was you, wasn't it? A man is bleeding out at your feet, and you're turning this around on me somehow? I haven't done anything to him. Again, don't play coy. You knew him. He was mad at you. You started telling him sob stories about your situation. He wasn't having none of it. You got mad. Things escalated. He died. This isn't true. It's plausible, but that doesn't make it true, or does it? This is just a nightmare. It doesn't even make any sense. It must be a dream. And if it isn't, the person in front of me must be responsible. There's a faint voice in my head, screaming that it's her world, that I'm just living in it. What the fuck have you done to me? Nothing yet, but I'll do what I can to get you locked up for life. This is a murder in the first degree, with special circumstances. A detached voice and nonsensical tone only reassures me this can't be real. I refuse to believe it is. Before I even managed to think this through, I point the gun at her. If I did murder him, you wouldn't be acting like that. You wouldn't be standing in front of me. You'd be running away, calling the police, begging for help, yelling at me that I'm a psycho. Oh, you are a psycho. But I'm not a coward. I won't let you walk out of here alive. This doesn't make a single lick of sense. Tears well up in my eyes. Why are you doing this? 'Cause sometimes one has to confront what they're really made of. There's no two ways about this. She's gotta be nuts. Slowly but surely, she starts walking towards me. Stop right there or I'll shoot! Go on! It's the only way you can get off the hook, isn't it? The only way you can survive. But you'll definitely prove you're the monster I claim you are. What the fuck is this tone? So controlling, inauthentic, patronizing. I'm serious! For your own sake, you'd better be. She keeps getting closer. Maybe I did kill Antonov. Maybe I don't deserve to live. Maybe it's less tiring not to live. Maybe I should just let her take care of me. Maybe I'll just wake up. Or maybe this insane reality needs to be rejected as violently as possible. Maybe a world that wants to destroy me deserves to be destroyed. She's right in front of me. It's now or never. Fuck it. Fuck it. What do we have to lose? I close my eyes and squeeze the trigger. A loud bang echoes through the alley. I'm afraid to look at what I've done. I've been to a shooting range once and felt absolutely horrified by pistols. Such a small thing, but it can easily puncture a hole in the fabric reality is made of. Never knew I'd be able to use it against another human being. The very thought of it makes me want to puke. You were a right choice after all. I'm so glad. You haven't allowed yourself to break, but you've crossed the line I needed you to cross. There's a silent flame in you that would become an inferno if left unchecked. Unchecked. I sure hope it will. Sorry, I know I'm a vampire, but getting shot still does a fucking number on you. She's still alive. Her voice is coming from behind me. She puts her hand around my waist, and her cold mouth touches my neck. I could feel my shirt getting violently torn off. I don't understand, but I'm too dazed to protest. That was your final test. Congratulations. You've proven yourself worthy. I could feel something sharp sliding into my neck. It's not too painful, just startling. Think a doctor pushing a needle into your vein without a proper warning. Then it hits me. Pure bliss. The dopamine receptors I'd considered completely fried until now suddenly recover and start bombarding me with pleasure I've never known before. I finally let the tears go. They come flooding. They've been waiting for years. It's such relief. Is it raining? I feel like I'm in the middle of a deluge at least, washing away all of my fears, all my sorrows, all my anger, all my pain, all of my ego. I become one with the world and the woman behind me. She's holding me tight, making me feel like the only important thing in this world. Everything else blurs. I feel something intense toward her, something I've never felt before. Is this love? I hope it is. This is not you, hisses a familiar, cynical voice in the back of my head. But it's okay. I never felt particularly fond of me anyway. New York, you're perfect. Please don't change a thing. Are those song lyrics? They feel like song lyrics. He who laughs in the shadows always has the last laugh. Hallelujah. Praise be. When everything is cliche, nothing is. Isn't that ever-distant utopia Isn't that the ever-distant utopia I've been chasing all along? People on the other trains, I hope you're doing fine. God, shut up. Just enjoy it. You finally understand. She's making love to me. She's giving birth to me. She's burying me. I'm pretty sure I've been dead for a while. I'm pretty sure I could stare at my own corpse in her hands from a distance for a moment somehow. And then, I'm alive again. She lifts her mouth from my neck. No. Wait, I taste blood in my mouth. Was I drinking her blood too? I realize that whatever this was, it's over. And I have to bask in the afterglow while I still can. I also immediately understand that I'm going to chase this fleeting feeling for the rest of my life. Finally, She lets out a whisper which concludes the ceremony. No matter what happens next, don't forget, you're a monster. But you were lucky enough to be born into a world of monsters, so don't you ever mourn that fact. Embrace it.